Hello guys and welcome to episode number 6 in my series Fix My Habitat. Can you believe that we are already in episode 6? I mean, it's 3 weeks ago that we started this, and I'm very grateful that you all love this and that so many of you want to participate in the series. And yeah, so let's have a look what we are doing today. We are in Samari Zoo, the zoo that Sian sent to me, and Sian told me she wanted the habitat for the saltwater crocodiles to be fixed. That is this one right over here. So this is a very big habitat and with some elevated paths. And the one thing I already fell in love with is that she used those round building pieces from the Australian DLC to make planters out of it, and yeah, they look amazing. So I think we go with the idea of this elevated viewing platforms. I really love how they look. I think I will decorate them a little more and make it look a little nicer. I also will change this wall around here and make it look a little different, and also do something about the rocks and the plants in the habitat. I won't change this here that much because I really like how it looks. It's very old school, but yeah, that's how many buildings in traditional zoos look like. So I think that will be fine if we let it be that way. So that being said, we might jump into the time lapse now and fix that habitat. See you guys. So here we are in the time lapse. First of all, I got a little heart attack as I was clicking on the barriers of the habitat and trying to delete it, and I found out that if I click on that, the whole zoo is selected, and the first time I clicked on it and deleted it, I almost deleted the whole zoo, and I was like, oh my god, what did I do there? So but I noticed it, and I didn't delete the whole zoo. Sian can tell you that I didn't. She received everything the way she wanted it to be, so don't worry about that. So we deleted everything again, but the shelter, and we began with some little terraforming. There was not that much to do. I just wanted to make that that elevation into the water not look that steep. So after we did the terrain work, I put down a lot of rocks to give the whole thing a different look. And that's what you see there, because I don't always with these underwater viewing areas and with animals that need a lot of space in the water. Most of the times those habitats look really bland and really boring. Because if you just put down a huge water section and you don't put in many rocks and plants, which unfortunately most of the animals don't like that much plants in the habitats. If you don't put down much of it, the habitat looks boring. And that's why I said it in the episodes before as well. That's why I don't take care as much of the needs of the animals if it comes to when it comes to plants and foliage. They don't mind it that much if you go a little bit over the top or on the lower level of it. So that's not that big of a problem, and I ignore it almost all the time. That's not a thing I look much into. I only take care of what kind of plants they might want if it comes to biomes or continents. But everything else I don't care. I don't care. Because it's ridiculous if you think of crocodiles. If you think about where you can find crocodiles, like this saltwater crocodile, for example. Saltwater crocodiles are found in Australia, for example, and most Australian territories where you can find those saltwater crocodiles are very dense when it comes to foliage. And very lush. So it doesn't make sense that you can almost put down one single tree in a habitat of a saltwater crocodile and it says already, oh, I have enough. So that just don't work for me. The same as with the gharial that we have in the game, that also doesn't like too much of foliage, and I think they didn't change that as much with the American alligator, did they? I can't remember right now, but I think even the American alligator doesn't like too much foliage, which is also ridiculous, as you might find it in the Everglades. And to anybody who has ever been to the Everglades and actually took a tour through the Everglades, you know that there's lots and lots and lots of foliage, and you almost can't see the animals because they live in this kind of swampy environment with a lot of plants around them. So there's that. Yes, so we put down some plants in the habitat, at least in the section, in the underwater section, and now we are covering up the glass walls a little bit and decorate them, make them look a little nicer. Unfortunately, you can't change the barriers that much if you have underwater viewing section, because you have to keep those glass walls. Because you can't make custom fencing and make a no barrier. Then for this this just wouldn't work. But you can change the look of it a lot, and that's what we are doing here. I decided we are going with some kind of a little classy vibe with it for this section. So using this concrete pillars here, and also I did use for the darker part on the bottom, if I'm correct, the Southeast Asian rock wall thing, or whatever it is called. Yeah, just covering the top of it up as well. And I have to confess, I think I told you in the last episode already, but I had to do this habitat 2 times. The first time I almost finished it. I made the elevated viewing area and so on. I was really proud what I had accomplished, and then suddenly the game crashed. And not just the game crashed, but also my recording program crashed as well. And the recording was gone. I wasn't able to get it back or to find it somewhere. It was damaged, and yeah. So what should I do? Option number one was the game was there was an autosave of the game at some point. So not everything I had been done was lost. So I thought option number one would be I finish it, I send it to Sia, and we don't have an episode for my YouTube channel. Episode number two was okay, let's delete everything or just open up the original file and start from scratch. And as you can see, as you are watching this video right now, you know what decision I made. Yeah, there's that, but I have to say, when I was going into the second time of building the habitat, it went so much faster because I already knew what I wanted to do and how to reach what I had in my mind for this. Yeah, as you can see, I made some roofs, some covered viewing area for the habitat, because I thought that might look really nice. And I also wanted it to be separated a little bit from the rest of the path system here. And that's why I created this little simple fence. And you can already see it's not that difficult to create a custom fence. Like this one, I once again used like 5 different pieces, and yeah, it looks pretty nice. It looks pretty nice, and it's pretty easy to put down on the ground. So there's that. And to give this the right optics, I decided to go for some different kind of path, and putting down some flat roof pieces from the Australian DLC. Yeah, that's what it's called. And we're also putting down some benches for the visitors to sit down, and yeah, and that's it almost for this kind of viewing area at the bottom here. I also fell in love with the idea of this elevated viewing area. I just don't like the kind when you put down elevated path and you just have those pillars stick down for like 20 meters or something like that. It always looks kind of weird, and yeah, I don't like that much. But it's also I know that it is difficult to manage to make it look nice. And you have to put a lot of work in there, and I understand if you don't want to go that extra mile or don't know how to go that extra mile. I also had a little bit of a hard time of doing it. First of all, I wanted to make something like Sian already had in her zoo, with different elevated viewing areas, so that you have them on different levels. That's what I did in the first build, but I really had a hard time to cover them with roofs and walls and so on. And in the second build, I decided we're going just for one single roundish piece here, make that look nice, and yeah, just go with that. And it also looks pretty fine. Yeah, first of all, that's what you can't see here, because that's what I did in the first build. I was going for the raster pieces to put down and create some kind of a wall, but I found out that they are just a little bit too big, and they caused several different problems for me when I put them down, and I just couldn't make them look nice. So I decided to go with those pieces that are that you can move freely without being stick to a raster, and yeah, that was much easier. And it looks very much nicer, and gives the whole thing a more roundish shape. I also used the same pieces for the ground of this build, as you can see, not just for the wall, but also for a little bit of floor. That is what you need to do to avoid some awkward gaps you might have, so that you have the possibility to move those pieces a little more freely, and to not put every single piece down exactly where it has to be, so that you don't have any gaps. And as you already can see, it is done very easy, and it looks pretty nice. And what you also should do if you put down some custom walls, some custom fences, or some things like I do here. If you put down support beams like I did here with the bamboo, just put them down on one side of your build, because if you put it down on both sides, you just have to make sure that they will fit in correctly if you copy them around, and that makes it a little more harder. So it's easier if you just put them down on one side, and if you come to an end, just copy one of those beams around. So, okay. Sorry for the short gap. Yeah, we're finished with putting those walls around our viewing area, and now I was thinking about doing a roof. I was not going for a complete round shape, because that was very difficult to manage, to make it look nice, even if you wanted it to not be just a flat roof. And that's why I decided to go with something like this square roof, which indeed looks nice as well. I would say so. Yeah, and I also put some of this roundish shape roof tile on top of it, to make it look a little nicer. Yeah, and so we are pretty much finished with the roof. I was thinking about putting down some additional pieces, but in the end I thought, no, we might not go with that. It already looks nice. Yeah, we also had to continue with putting down those kind of walls, because for sure we don't want our visitors to fall down that elevated path, so we had to continue with building that on both sides, and also for the staircase. Staircase was not that easy because the thing with staircases is always most of the times, or all the times, they are not in an exact angle, like 45 degrees or something like that. So you have to you have to find out which angle, and make sure that that everything is straight. You see, it was not with my first attempt on doing this, so it's a little of try and error to find out in which exact angle you want to put them down. That took a lot of time for me to manage it to look good, but in the end it worked out, and it was worth the effort. I think so. Yeah, and also it is pretty annoying sometimes if you copy pieces like this around, and they don't stick to the grid anymore, and you just have to move them forward, upwards, sidewards, and so on to make it fit. That's yeah, very annoying sometimes, and I just don't understand the mechanics of it sometimes. But okay. In the end, we managed to make it work, and that's all that matters. Might not be 100% perfect, but yeah, as I said, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And in the end, that's something I would also give you as an advice when you're building in Planet Zoo and you're making something. Don't try to be 100% perfect all the time. I know that it's difficult, and everyone wants to make things look as good as possible, and that's okay. But don't try to be perfect all the time, because that might get you burned out, and you don't have fun playing that game anymore. And as I said in the beginning, in the first of my videos, I think I'm playing this game to have fun with it. That's first and for all the most important thing for me. As long as I am having fun, I enjoy doing it, and I will make videos for you guys, and when there's the point I don't have fun anymore, or I don't feel like doing anything, I won't do it, because I won't press myself to do something that I don't want to do just to create some content or something like this. I don't earn any money with my videos here on YouTube. I have to say, I don't yet earn some money. At some point I might, but still I will be doing it all just for fun, and not to make a livelihood out of it. That's not my intention at all. Yeah, and here I decided we don't want to go with the wooden pieces until we reach the ground level. So I decided to make this last piece of the staircase in stone. Also to make it look a little bit more, how should I say this, a little bit more stable. Is it called stable in English? I don't know. But yes, that was what I was going for here. Even if it won't make that much sense in the end, but yeah, as I said, we are building to have fun, and in the end it looked good, and we are not architects or something like that, so it's fine, I guess. And I guess it would work in real life as well, to be fair. Yeah, and here we have a nice staircase. We give it some support with those big Southeast Asian pillars. We also put them down to support our viewing platform, because you don't want it to be floating around, as it is not even touching the ground level of the water, or the upper level of the water, I might say. Yeah, putting down some more rock work around here because I wanted to cover up the glass pieces, because they didn't make sense to me at that part of the habitat. So I covered everything in rocks and tried to make it look as natural as possible. So that's something you also might want to do if you put down rock walls. I often see people put down rocks on top of each other, and on top, on top, on top, and always the same rocks and no variation, and yeah, that looks awkward. So use different rocks, put them into each other, let them stick out just a little, and everything looks a little bit more natural. Yeah. Here we changed the color of the water because I was thinking about in a natural environment of the crocodiles, you might see some kind of a muddy water, some kind of greener or brown kind of water, and so I changed the color of the water, and I also once again changed the transparency of the water so that the visitors will be able to see the crocs. The visitors might be able anyways, but we as players might be able to see the crocs roam underwater. I also was covering up those rocks on the side a little bit with the bamboo, which looked pretty nice, and yeah, so that if you are looking in the habitat in from the elevated viewing platform, you might not have the feeling that you are on top of a humongous tank, so that it looks a little bit more natural and not too man-made. I also designed a custom fence for the backside of the habitat, for the backstage area for the keepers, so that we don't have that glass walls on the backstage area. And here once again you see me putting down those pillars just on one side of the fence, so that it is easier to copy them around and put it together. So I decided to go with the chain link once again, just to make it look a little bit more zoo-ish. And that's also something you might see in real life zoos as well. That combination of concrete and chain link fence. Yeah. Okay, we just had to cover this up with a little bit of rocks as well. We couldn't change the barriers everywhere. This last little piece that was going into the water section, I couldn't change or move it around, so I decided we leave it that way and just put some more rocks in there, so to cover this up and avoid that the animals could actually escape over that no fence, so that we would get an alert that the animal escaped, even if it still was in the habitat. Yeah, I also changed the wall on this side of the habitat. I don't know exactly what kind of habitat there was on the back side of this, but I think it was the pygmy hippo. Yeah. And in the end, I decided I wanted to make a little change at the building and put down some windows to make it look a little bit more realistic. Because if we wouldn't have windows in there, it might be pretty dark inside. And so I decided to put in some windows and just put down some of those pillars that we also used in the building of the fence, so that it all makes a little more sense together. And yeah, I think with these little touches on the building, it gives it a whole complete different look. So benches and also trash cans on top of that viewing platform and a donation bin. And yeah, we are finished with our habitat. So here's some looks at our crocs that are fighting right now. As you can see, they are not completely happy. That's because I once again forgot to put in some toys and food enrichment. So that's what I had to do here, and I gave them almost everything they needed or that was possible. Yeah, the blood pumpkin and this feeder and I think that's it. Yeah, the underwater feeder I put in as well, and I also gave them some platforms in the water where they can rest on. So that might give the viewers on the viewer platform as well a nice look at the crocs. Yeah, and with that being said and done, we have finished our 6th habitat in this series. As I told in the last episode as well, if you are interested in taking part to this, if you want something in your zoo fixed, just send me an email to michael.bakeplay@gmail.com. You can also find my email address in the description of this video. I would love to work in your zoos. Just send me your files over and I will do my best to improve them. Yeah, I hope you liked that video. If you did, give it a like, push the like button, subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any further videos of Fix My Habitat or my other series as well. And stay safe, stay healthy, and I'm happy to see you in the next episode. Bye guys!